Okay, sugarcane farm is done, and then we look back down, and there is the paper. Hello, everybody. Rogue Fox here, and welcome back to another episode of Truly Bedrock Season 6. This is episode 6, and I'm coming to you from my base area, or more specifically, the headquarters within my base area, because I don't really have much going on right now except for the spruce tree, the sugarcane farm. My double spawner is on the other side of the hill there, which I will be getting to in this episode, at least the skeleton spawner, because what I'm trying to do is try to get myself some mending books. So if we take a look inside my temple here, this is where I've kind of set everything up for the time being. For the last few hours, I've been trying to roll a mending villager. I did get a few, but they were asking for like 24 emeralds, 28, 29, one was in the 30s, and finally, after a few hours, I got one for 14. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to go with that for the time being. I did try to roll a couple others here. This one I just decided to keep for Silk Touch for 12, which I didn't think was too bad. This one, I don't even know what block this one's attached to. There's no cauldron nearby. There's nothing in the town itself, so I'm not quite sure what that one's attached to. And then over here I have a farmer. I might roll that into a librarian. This one, let's see, we have Protection 3 for 17 emeralds. And then this one is just the one I'm going to be trading paper for emeralds. And to trade paper, I'm going to need sugarcane, a lot of it. And this is not enough. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do today is I want to get trading with this villager here with the paper to get myself some emeralds. And that's why I'm thinking I might re-roll this one, the paper as well, just so I have a paper trader for emeralds. And then what I'm thinking is I want to come down here into this room and I want to build myself an automatic sugarcane farm. And on top of that, with the new crafter block that we have, what I'm thinking is making an automatic sugarcane farm that is also an automatic paper maker. So I have an idea of what I'd like to do for that. But in order for me to grow sugarcane like that, I'm going to need myself a lot of bone meal. And thankfully, I have the skeleton spawner that was a part of the double spawner that I found a couple episodes ago. Now, I'm not really worried about the zombie spawner right now. It's mainly the bone meal I want, so I want to get the skeleton farm done in this episode so I can start building my sugarcane farm. There is a little bit more work that needs to be done. For example, getting rid of that chest there. I do have my tinted glass in place. I do have the water stream, just kind of planning it out right now. If we come down here, oh good, I do have my elytra on. I wasn't sure. I do have my packed ice. That's going to go down my water stream here. And for now, I'm just going to build a trident killer right here. So all the skeletons are going to drop down, come down here, and then just fall into a trident killer right there. I tried to keep it off the ground. This is where the trench was that I originally wanted to run them into. But like I mentioned a couple episodes ago, there is bedrock a couple blocks down. So it's going to be very hard to work with that, which is why I'm trying to keep it as high off the ground as possible. So again, that's going to allow me to place in my trident killer and hopefully give me some space to run some hoppers down into an item sorter somewhere. So that's kind of the plan of what I want to get done. With that, let's go ahead and start working on this skeleton farm. All right, the trident killer is in place. Very simple to make. I have that all set up and ready to go. So I don't have my trident on me, but you can see once I turn it on, it's going to be pushing the trident around and around, and then I have the collecting system down below, and I just barely had the space. You can see the bedrock right there. Just barely had the space to get a chest in there. At some point, what I would like to do is make some sort of water stream to go to an item sorter. So most likely, since this is at bedrock, it's going to have to stream somewhere this way. Anywhere over here, actually. It doesn't really matter. It just needs to go somewhere and then up into an item sorter, which I have plenty of space to do so. But that will be at a later time because, like I said, I want to get trading now with my mending villager. So, taking a little bit of a shortcut here for the time being, I just want to get this up and running. And to finish things off, what I need to do is not break that torch because that will actually get everything spawning. But like I mentioned in the previous episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a redstone lamp right here on top of the spawner. That will also keep things from spawning on top. And then we're going to go ahead and I believe I need one more block. So that should work out. right there. Redstone block. And then the lamp is going to go here, and I have that block gap. That way the redstone block can be extended, and that'll make contact with the lamp, which will be on this block here. Turn it on, and then shut off the farm. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go back outside, up and around up here somewhere, find out where that piston is, and then just wire up a lever. There it is. That's the bottom of the piston. You can see I was totally off. So like I was saying, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break this through right here. And I'm not going to do anything fancy right now. Like I said, I just want this to be functional. So I'll probably just place a lever right here for the time being. That way I can just turn it on and off. Yes, I will have to walk up a few stairs, but really not that big of a deal. And I still have slime spawning below. The piston is extended, which means I should just be able to do this now. Ooh, don't want to get shot off the edge. Yeah. Took a few shots there. That can just go ahead and go down to the water stream. I'll collect that later. So that is officially shut down once again, just like I had the torch on top. And unfortunately, I don't have my trident on me. I need to go back to my camp and get that. So you can see how this would work. Again, I need to have a door there, so that wouldn't happen, but I can still get the XP through it. I would run this. They get hit with a trident while I hold my looting 3 sword. And let me just go ahead and take care of that because it looks like they're going to try to get out. And let's say the trident got them. And all the stuff, plus all the stuff that I broke off, is down here below. So there are the bones, there's the bow, and there are the arrows. Slack just let me know that I am missing a few trims from my wall, so it looks like he came through and made a purchase. And I'm assuming it's Slack because I came in, looked at my wall, and wasn't sure which ones I was missing, but he did let me know it's going to be Dune, Eye, Silence, and Coast. And it's so weird that it just has smithing templates. It should just tell you which one it is. But those are the 4 that looks like he came through and picked up. There are the diamonds, which means I get to pull these out, make copies of these, and then put them back on the wall. And then my master copies are going to go back into my shulker with all of my other ones. Doors in, I have my trident, and this farm is officially ready to start running. So let me go ahead and chuck this in, just like that. Close the door so I can still collect the XP through here. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip the lever to retract the redstone block. I can already hear the skeleton spawning in. Oh, it might have helped if I turned it on though, huh? That definitely might have helped. So there we go. It's running. They are being taken out by the tridents. And like I said, I can just get my XP right through here, just like that. So no issues collecting XP. And then all of the drops are going to go down into the chest here. So you can see I've already been running it just a little bit just to test it out. So I do have a good amount of bows. I did take out a few stacks of bones already because like I mentioned, the next thing I want to do is build myself an automatic sugarcane farm / paper farm. Paper printer? Something like that. I'll think of a nice name for it. Alright, now that that's finished, I have an XP source, I have a source for bone meal, and eventually I will have a source for zombie flesh, which I might make one of those villagers a cleric, so I can trade that for emeralds, the zombie flesh for emeralds. And as you can tell, I've done a little bit of digging in the meantime while I was waiting for the paint to dry, and by that, just actually waiting for the sugarcane to grow, waiting for cows to grow up. I did bring some cows over from across the water here, the sheep as well, and then I kind of took over the farm that was here. Definitely need to expand it. I gave it another row, got rid of one of the water rows, placed crops in there. So making some progress, but like I said, what I want to do now is actually get some paper going. So what I'm going to do, just like I showed earlier, I'm going to come down below here, and in this spot, I'm going to make myself the automatic sugarcane farm / automatic paper maker. For those of you who've been following the channel for quite some time, when I was doing a lot of Redstone tutorials, you know that I like to make all of my builds fit cleanly into whatever it is I'm trying to make. So the idea is I'm going to have the sugarcane farm, all the redstone's going to be hidden behind the wall, so I'm still keeping the aesthetic of the wall here. You will see the glass, you will see the collection system, the chest, and all that stuff, but as far as all of the redstone goes, It's all going to be hidden behind here and under the floor. If you want to build this automatic sugarcane farm along with me, I'll go ahead and post a card to it in the top right corner. That should be popping up. And also, I'll post a link to this tutorial down in the description below. Do keep in mind that this build is going to look slightly different than the one I made in my tutorial, and that's because I am trying to fit this within the wall, which means I do need to move a few blocks around and make some modifications to the build itself. And also, I'm adding an automatic paper crafter to it, which means I do need to add some additional redstone components. Alright, it is finished. So the automatic sugarcane farm, which will turn itself into an automatic paper maker essentially, is ready to go. So I have my trapdoor here that will go into my chest where I collect everything, and hopefully I got all of my timing correctly. And like I said, I tried to make it fit within the wall here, so I think I did a very good job of that. And then if we take a look at the top, you can see it did not affect my floor whatsoever. But now it's time for the moment of truth. I do have bone meal in the dispenser here, and I still need to think of a way to access back there to fill it up, but let's go ahead and run it. So sugarcane farm working perfectly, but now the question is the paper maker working down here? Yes, looks like we got a little bit of sugar at first, but other than that, it is crafting the paper like it should be. I'm assuming it's the initial couple of sugarcane that went in before the next batch went in, I'm assuming is why I have that sugar. But looking at it, just keeping an eye on it, it is now crafting paper. So, perfect. We are out of bone meal, which I will have to load back in. I only did a full stack of bone meal, and that got me a stack and 50 of paper. So yeah, that definitely went a lot quicker. Oh, looks like we have a little backup here. Is it still going? Oh, for some reason, why is that not collecting? Okay, I will have to take a look into this. Ah, okay, it looks like the hopper minecart was pushed back slightly, and that was just enough for it not to collect. Now, I'm going to have to be very careful with this because there is water right behind this block here. So as soon as I break this block, all the water is going to spill out and destroy the redstone. So let me be smart about this. Everything is fixed. I push the hopper minecart forward. I also empty out the chest just to make sure everything is going to work cleanly. So let's go ahead and give this another test. I put in a stack of bone meal once again. And let's see here. Again, sugarcane farm is working no problem. Let's see if we got sugar to start things off with. We did, just one. And I'm assuming it's just because of how things fall into the automatic crafter by default, because it takes 3 sugarcane to make paper. And at some point, when it starts up, I'm assuming there's not going to be all 3 in there, so it's automatically going to craft sugar. Okay, sugarcane farm is done, and then we look back down, and there is the paper. It looks like we got one more sugar out of it, and I'm assuming it's because, like I mentioned before, if we can just select it here and not the chest. Okay, so this is still going. Technically, I should have flipped it off because it's still being powered, so even if one sugar goes in there like that, anything left over, it's automatically going to craft another sugar. So that's just something that's going to happen. That's fine. But other than that, it works perfectly. So now I have about 2 stacks of paper. I almost have a double chest full of paper, and over in my shulker here, I almost have a full shulker worth of bones. And you only need 3 stacks of bones to make a full dispenser's worth of bone meal. So I will be crafting paper, a lot of paper, in the near future. Well, I got a lot done this episode, so I think this is a great place to end it. Got my skeleton farm done, so I'm collecting XP and bones now, which means I can make bone meal, feed my automatic sugarcane farm, which I can then make into a ton of paper, like you just saw. And now I can go ahead and start getting myself some emeralds, getting my mending books, and what I think I'll do in between episodes is gather up some more villagers and try to make a good little collection of villagers with some good books. So with that being said, everyone, this is going to be the end of today's episode. I really hope you all enjoyed. This has been Rogue Fox, and I will see you later.